Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Danielle and I'm from Cage's Readings. If you haven't been to my channel before, thanks for coming. I just want to disclaim here that this is intended for September, but as you know, card readings, they always find you when you need to hear them. So if it isn't September when you come across this, don't worry about it. You probably found this video for a reason, and just trust your own intuition once you get into the piles. If it's making sense, the guidance and suggestions, then take it. If it doesn't, then maybe choose another pile or choose another reading and just trust your gut. I do just want to put a little announcement here. I'm going to be starting a second YouTube channel specifically for sound baths and meditations. So if you're interested in that, it's going to be called Sound Baths with Danielle. I'm planning to have it started in September sometime. Yeah, so maybe just check it out if you're interested and you'll see if there's any videos posted. All right, otherwise, let's get into today's reading. So like I was saying, it's just suggestions and guidance so you can have the most balanced and honestly just the most harmonious month ahead is always my intention. Because even if there's some chaos coming your way, as sometimes it is just part of the cycle of life, it's always nice to just get a system or some tools or some guidance on how to stay as grounded in yourself so you can go through it the smoothest way possible. So that being said, you have 3 piles to choose from. Pile 1 is going to be this Tourmaline Tower. And your Oracle card option is the Well-Being deck. It's by Abraham Hicks. Pile 2 is this piece of Apophyllite. And the Oracle card option is the Angels and Ancestors Oracle cards by Kyle Gray. And lastly, we have our Strawberry Quartz. Strawberry Quartz. I don't know why I said rhubarb. Maybe it's because it's the end of summer. Thinking of rhubarb. Anyways, this is the crystal option. And then the Oracle card option is Healing with the Angels Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. Awesome. So if you have done a pick a card reading before, you probably know what to do. You've probably even skipped the intro, and I'll just trust that you're no longer here. If you've never done a card reading before, it can be nice just to get an idea of how you choose a pile. So it's always best just to try to get yourself as grounded and embodied as possible. So if you've had a stressful day, or if you're really in your head, you've had a lot of like lists or just place to place you've been running to get things done. Any kind of those things is like a good sign that we've had to be really mental. And the whole purpose is we kind of want to get out of the mental body and more into the intuition and the physical body. So there's a few things you can do. The easiest one is to just close your eyes if it's safe for you to do so. Take a deep breath in down through the nose, pause, and then on the exhale, let it come out the mouth and just try to really let your shoulders relax with that. So if you find yourself needing to make a sigh or yawning, then that's awesome. That means you're actually kind of getting into a more restful state, into a more relaxed state, essentially. So this kind of helps us get a little more calm and a little more out of the head. So usually we need to take 2 or 3 breaths that way. Another thing you can do is you can put your feet flat on the ground, really feel your feet on the floor, really become aware of the weight of your feet. That can also help you just really get aware of the physical body. And then once you've kind of done that and you feel a little more out of your head, then you just ask yourself, is there a message for me in one of these piles? And then you open your eyes and you look at each of the crystals, each of the card decks, and you just see if there's a color standing out to you, the crystal that stands out to you. Standing out to you might look like you're just really drawn to it, like you really like the color, the shape, for some reason where it is in the frame. You might have seen owls lately, so you like the owl. It really, honestly, it could be anything. You could have just felt like you should choose number 2, or you felt like you should choose number 3 or number 1. There's really no wrong way to choose an Oracle card deck. The other thing you can do is you can look in the description box below and choose a pile based off of the numbers associated with the timestamps. Sometimes there's numbers in there that means something to us or we've been seeing a lot of lately. And that can just be another way that you choose your pile. Sometimes we are drawn to more than one, and that's totally okay. And sometimes we're not drawn to any, and that might just mean that now that we're more grounded or embodied, it's important for us to, sorry, that's my cat's Steve coming in. It's getting close to their dinner time, and they're just letting me know that. Okay. Anyways, back to you. So, wow, what was I even saying? Oh yes, just that if you're not drawn to one of the piles, that's totally okay. But having you to get more grounded, and it's totally good. Just go back onto YouTube, scroll through the pick a card readings, and then wait until you have that moment of like, I'm really drawn to this pile or to this deck or something like that. And then a lot of card readings will have an energy check at the start. Really important that you do actually watch that section just to see if the messages are at all relating or vibing with you. So in this card reading, funny enough, I don't do an energy check, but yeah, most of them usually do have them. Anyways, that being said, I will let you go and choose your pile, and I wish you the best of luck, and maybe I'll see you in one of these card readings. Hello, pile one. So you chose the Tourmaline Tower. I'm just gonna put it right over here. There you go. Wow, it's like so camouflaged. So, I unfortunately have already recorded this whole reading, and the audio for some reason didn't come through. So this is round 2. But you know what? I wasn't totally happy with how the first video turned out, so maybe this is just fate. And now my voice is like all ready and freshened up to just give you the best reading ever. So that's how we're gonna look at it. Yes. Anyways, the other thing that's coming to mind, and like everything, just take everything as it resonates for you, but something I've been noticing the last couple of days is a lot of themes around expressing anger and being allowed to express anger. And it's even funny because I'm like, I should probably be angrier about this video not recording with the audio and having to redo it. And unfortunately putting me quite behind in my YouTube readings because I'm supposed to be recording a different one right now. But yeah, I don't know. So it's interesting. Maybe that's just like something you need to hear. And also when I'm looking at the actually, even if I look at this, I don't actually think this is Tourmaline. I actually think this is Obsidian, but I'll leave it as Tourmaline because I've been calling it that. But Obsidian is very reflective, and what I always learned in the crystal world about the difference in sort of the, like we'll say the metaphysical properties of the two is that Obsidian helps you reflect on your shadow, and kind of helps you see the shadow a little bit better, where Tourmaline is more protective and clearing and grounding. It doesn't put your shadow so clearly in front of you for you to see. So that might even be an interesting thing. So maybe if you're having a hard time seeing the shadows, or say like if you're like me and like you might know sometimes you need to work on something, but you're having a hard time seeing it in yourself, like in the sense like sometimes we have a part of ourselves that are very protective, like a part of like literally like internal family system part that is just trying to keep us safe from seeing something. Obsidian might be a good stone for you, as it might help you see something you've been trying to see, but you have a really good protector that's hiding that from you. So anyways, that being said, let's get into what you need to know, guidance and suggestions to have the most balanced month ahead. Okay. We have, I see this day as a positive new beginning. It's never too late to have a new beginning. Okay. What else do you need to know for having the most balanced month ahead? Okay. My purpose in life is joy. I am selfish enough to want to feel good. And physical well-being is only one good thought away. Okay. I'm going to just start with these ones here. There is a lot of solar plexus coming in. So whenever we get a lot of solar plexus, it usually means that there could just be a need to really recenter, reconnect with ourselves. So if you are in the Northern Hemisphere like I am, summer is not very long for us, at least not where I live in Canada. And the summer months are super busy, and usually all our self-care routines and all our healthy habits kind of go out the door just so that we can make the most of the summer, see as many people as possible. If you have kids, they're out of school and you're doing as much as you can with them before the holiday season is over. And the moral of the story is this really feels like come back to self, come back to your self-care routines. Cats know how to honor themselves, right? They only do what's right for them. If you try to pick them up when they are not wanting it, when it doesn't feel good for them, they're going to let you know and they're going to get out of your arms in some way. They're not just going to sit there and take it. So whenever I see kind of cats come up, and also this card over here where it feels like just giving yourself a bit of hug and a bit of attention, that just really is telling me that it's really important to come back to focusing on you. Like, you need to be more selfish this month. You need to be like, what do I need to feel like this cat? Blissful, relaxed, like my best self. Also, whenever I get sunflowers, I think of self-compassion. I feel like they just are like a ray of sun. They are like a ray of sun, but they also can talk about like having more energy and more fire coming into your life. And fire is really just more energy. And how do we get more energy? By doing things that just make us feel lighter, who bring a smile to our face. Also those self-care routines. So once again, you have a very focus on yourself, focus on the little parts of you. I definitely feel like there's two cards talking about that. So I see this person looking at this little bird, and I see this person hugging what looks like a sun, but kind of also looks like a solar plexus chakra. And solar plexus chakra is usually referred to our value, as I was saying, and our parts of self. So this could be like making sure your inner child is happy, fed, and taken care of. So inner children aren't always a bad thing. Sometimes we associate it only with the self-work and like the shadow aspects and the things that we're trying to undo. But the inner child also is very playful, imaginative, creative, and free when we let it be free. So this is kind of talking about doing what you need to do to be able to harness those light attributes or those positive attributes of the inner child. And kind of getting out of maybe the more, I'm going to say rundown cycle that you might have been in, and getting yourself set up for a self-care, self-centered. It's so funny when I say that, self-centered month. Focused on you. So I see the positive and the new beginnings in every day. And I just see this as being like, okay, it's time to restart. You probably have a really good self-care routine, or did, and you might just have fallen out of it. I feel like this pile actually knows how to fill their cup when they have time and they have the focus on it. Yeah. And a lot of the themes that came through for September, is like, or sorry, whenever you're seeing this, is just also like, it is like a very physical, basic need month. Like, it is like just doing the basics. Like, does your body need more water? Making sure you're drinking more water. Scheduling things so that you have enough time for your self-care and your work and maybe like your fun activities, and actually being ahead of the week and being like, all right, this is my time slot for this. This is when I'm going to do this thing. And that gives me this free time to do this other thing that's really important for me and for my well-being. So with everything that's coming through, I feel like it's very important to get ahead of your schedule so that you can make sure you have the downtime and the self-care time, because that's what's being prioritized here in your cards. Like, if you can have enough time to recharge, get back in the habit of a routine, you're going to set yourself up for the winter months, whether they're busier or whether it just gets harder, because if, once again, you're like me and you live in Canada or somewhere where the light in the day shortens drastically, a lot of people can get into seasonal depression here. And it's just really important to get really good habits ahead of time. So if you have like a, say like a yoga class or a certain group activity that you like to go to every weeknight or every other weeknight or once a week or whatever it is, it's like getting aligned with that so that once those seasonal depressions kind of things would be setting in, you're actually feeling really good. You have your system set up, you have like your activity, you're just creating as much self-care, self-support as you possibly can. Okay, I really want to just read the ones that are really standing out to me. So feeling good indicates your connection to clarity, wellness, and an abundance in all good things. Feeling good is your most natural core belief. So I actually just want to say that this pile here, if you've chosen this is the only deck I chose that has a ton of words. You might be a really good communicator, or you might just really, really appreciate verbal affirmations or communication or verbal reassurance. You might be a words of affirmation kind of love language. You might be that person who's very good at resolving conflict with people you're in relationships with, whether that is just coworkers, that is clients, you know, partners, friends, you name it. Because I don't know, the fact that there's so many words, and I usually don't ever choose a deck that's all words for a main card deck. It's just interesting to me. So I just think you like words. Anyways, so this card here says today and tomorrow can be very different from yesterday if you can let yesterday go and focus on today. Today and tomorrow are about your now vibration, and you have complete control over that. Look for things to feel good about and watch how everything in your life will unfold to reflect that good feeling vibration. Okay, so what I have to say about this card here is if you have a habit of like getting really hard on yourself, if you don't check everything off your list, if you didn't do everything you thought you should have been able to do in a day, this is saying let that day go. Sorry, that was my one cat just running in, being all mad and fighting with her brother, Steve, who's now yelling. Yeah, you know what? Letting yourself be angry might also be something this pile is needing. Because once again, this is a yellow card, solar plexus. Sometimes I just see like sometimes there might be a part of us that just needs to be allowed to get mad. There's just a part of us that needs to be allowed to express our emotion, to get past something. And this pile, I mean, anger kind of keeps coming to my forefront. So you might just need to let yourself get angry. Something you could try doing is just like try like, I mean, unless you like go to a kickboxing class or you have like something like that available to you, you might want to try something, I don't know, maybe more easy or practical if you feel a little weird letting yourself like act out anger. But like maybe you want to start by just like, I don't know, like, you know, like tapping, like two pillows on the ground. How about that? Two pillows on the ground or a bed or something like that. Something kind of soft so it doesn't hurt your hands, and just doing that and then letting yourself like just work up until maybe you find you're like really getting some like punches into those pillows or into that mattress, and just like letting yourself express the anger in some way that it will be safe for you and the environment around you. But I just feel like there might be like just like a need to allow yourself to be mad and know that it's okay. Know that it's okay to like show anger and experience the emotion of anger. It can be very clearing. And then if you don't like expressing that, or you don't feel comfortable expressing that, maybe just getting curious about the why behind that. Yeah. Okay, the basis of your life is freedom. The purpose of your life is joy. You are free to choose new avenues for joy. And in your joyous growth, you will add to the experience of all that is. So that one was kind of straightforward. Yeah. So I kind of just feel like a lot of this is just kind of giving me that what's that called? Like, I don't know if it's an expression or like reiterating that theme, there you go, of don't get too stuck or caught up on if you're not making all those goals or check boxes that you think you should. Like I just keep seeing like lists of things to do, lists of responsibilities. If you're not getting it all done, it's okay. it's okay. It might be really good. Just take a couple deep breaths and just tell yourself you'll get it done tomorrow. Or if not tomorrow, the next day, but all you're doing is all you can today. And I almost feel like you need to like lessen or lessen. I'm not quite sure how to say that verbiage. Lessen the expectations on yourself or the pressures you have on yourself. Yeah, I'm not the best English speaker sometimes. It's a thing. Feeling good indicates your connection to clarity. Yeah. So yeah, we were already talking about this one. I really feel like this is like one of those annoying cards where it's like you just need to relax more. And you're like, thanks. You know, like obviously that's gonna not change anything, but you're just saying like try your best to like not take things so seriously and like try to maybe intentionally be more childlike and playful. Like that can seem funny, but like well, if you were a kid, what would you do? Or what would you like find joy in? Or how would you entertain yourself? And I'm talking about like the old school kids, you know, like before you had the iPads and like TVs that you're always allowed to watch. Like, what would a kid do when they just got put outside and had to figure out the fun in life? Like, would they be looking at flowers? Would they be poking at bugs? Like, just like letting yourself like not have to be so serious, so grown up all the time. That's yeah, I think that's ultimately what I'm trying to say. So if you hear people say, and I'm so sorry, I actually feel like those words might even be triggering. Like, oh, I actually regret saying them now. Like the saying just relax or you should just relax. Like I just feel like people have said this to you so much and it's felt very condescending. And you're like, you know, like it's just something you wish you could do. But I feel like maybe just looking at more of the angle of yeah, how can I just bring more of that play or more of that inner child or more of that little kid you into the current moment? More joy, a little more fun, a little less seriousness. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. You could have every disease known to man within you today, and if you choose different feeling thoughts tomorrow, they would all leave your body. The key is to not give any unwanted thing much attention. When it doesn't feel good, turn your attention to someplace else. Interesting. Okay, so this like kind of feeling like so I want to be cautious with this because it sometimes I can feel like this can come off as like we should dismiss our emotions. But what I see here when I'm reading this card is like that part of you that's kind of very good at being hard on yourself or telling yourself that you should be doing more or something kind of like along those lines like you shouldn't have been so lazy, you should have been more productive, or you should get up and like do this whole list of things. It's like it's okay sometimes to be like, okay, you know what, thank you so much this part of me for looking out for me, but it's okay if I just breathe for a moment or if I just get to you know, not have to be anywhere or do anything. And actually, it's interesting talking about the breath because I wonder if you were watching how you were breathing more or you brought into your awareness in these stressful moments or these moments where this voice is coming online. Okay, sorry about that. I saw my camera battery flashing and it just sometimes deletes the video if the battery dies. We weren't going to go through that again. So what I was going to say here was just about the breath. I would be curious if you could create like a little mental notes or a little mental check-in with yourself that when you hear this voice come online and starts telling you that you should be doing more, you should be more productive, it might even say things like you're being too lazy, you need to be more motivated, you need to be more goal-orientated, any kind of language like that. I feel like you might even recognize this part of yourself as I'm describing it. I wonder if you could get curious on what is your breath doing? Because usually I find as you're reading a card pile, you'll kind of like embody that person's energy or like emotion. And I keep noticing that I'm very breathless. Like I keep not breathing and I'm like holding the breath specifically. And when I realize that I like let it out. And I actually feel instantly a lot less tension in the body because I'm not trying to control and hold the exhale. And I wonder if it'd be really curious to see if you're controlling your exhale. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know. that's maybe a whole nother video, but it is really interesting to get curious about where we hold our breath, if we're holding it before we inhale, if we're holding it so before we exhale. It just can mean different things about where we're having a hard time surrendering control in our life. It's really cool. But anyways, that's another video. So yeah, let's just pull a few more cards here about anything else you need to know to kind of just get through this month with the most ease and balance for you. We have no one else needs to know this. Interesting. So once again, very solar plexus-ish. There's a little bit of like hiding behind something or living life with a bit of a barrier, which is interesting. It is not necessary for even one other person to understand these laws of the universe. For you are the attractor of your experience, just you. So this is interesting. I kind of got the impression that at first when I was reading this, that you might be someone who feels like they keep others at a distance, but then once I actually like read the message, I actually feel like it's saying like you need to be okay with the fact that you can set boundaries with people. And maybe you are, but you just need the confirmation to not feel like that's selfish or self-centered or like inconsiderate or anything like that. It's actually just self-honoring, like this cat card, because it's so interesting. I feel like the side of the card talks about maybe how you feel about it, like feeling a little bit guilty for not having enough energy or giving people as much of your energy as maybe they would like or they're used to. But it's saying like for you to recharge and for you to be in your best energy and to be the best version of yourself, it is important that you do take some time to like some people would say protect your energy, but I would say to just recharge your energy. So this is a very big boundary card. So boundaries on your time, your energy, the time that you have to spend with people. And when it comes up with blue, it kind of can say like maybe it's important for you to see just how much of your energy is going out to others and isn't really being focused on yourself right now. And I really feel it's important to like cocoon yourself, heal yourself, spend that extra energy on you this month, okay? It's really going to go a long ways. This part might be feeling depleted, or you know what? The energy I keep getting is I feel like you might just be feeling more negative than normal. Like maybe in your head, you're just more negative than normal with yourself, or maybe you feel more irritated or irritable with others. And I would feel like this is something that you might also be very hard on yourself about. And it's just saying like you might see how low energy you are, and you might understand and have some more compassion for yourself, for how you're thinking, your attitude. You might just honestly be really, really tired. And it's very hard to be very positive and super outgoing and like super happy and seeing the best in everyone when you're just exhausted, when you don't have that much energy going back to you. And the interesting thing is as I say, this pile might be really tired, I don't feel like this pile feels that way. So you might even be so like, I don't know, you might even be in a position where you've had so little time to really just check in with yourself that you might not even know if you are tired or if you've just increased your caffeine intake and you have noticed that you are more tired than normal or something like that. I don't know. There's something to look at there. I mean, you always take any messages that resonates, but you just wonder if you haven't even had time to check in to know how you're feeling and to be able to process your own emotions. And this is why I think this is coming up, for why it's so important that you take the time this month so you can just really feel like the person you want to be in the world and show up as you want to show up. And yeah, this starts with just giving yourself some tender love and care. I know it's so corny to say that, but we said it. Okay, we're about to wrap up this part of the reading. I'm going to pull an affirmation card for you for the month ahead. Okay, what does pile 1? What is a great affirmation for pile 1 for the month ahead? Okay, prosperity. I don't know why I cannot read this. I'll bring it closer to you in case you can read it better than me. Prosperity abounds in my life. Working with numbers comes easily to me. I pay attention to the details regarding the money flowing in and out of my life. It's kind of feels like getting organized kind of card, like just really basic budgeting, scheduling, planning stuff. Okay, and the another affirmation we have is I think outside the norm and find creative ways to approach life. The rainbow of light and positive energy expands my consciousness. Creative ideas flow through me on a regular basis, and I bring them into physical reality. And it is really hard to be creative or think of creative solutions when we are really tired or we're really like overworked or burnt out or there's just so much pressure on ourselves. It can be really hard. So if you've been feeling stuck and needing a little more creativity in your life, the self-care thing, crazy enough, might be the solution to that. Okay, I have decided randomly just now that I'm gonna do an extended for the members on YouTube. I know, I just decided. I kind of thought maybe I would, but I will do an extended reading for YouTube members. Just looking at what guidance there is for you for romantic relationships for the next month ahead. So yeah, I'm gonna do that now. If you would like to see it, you can become a YouTube member on the channel, and you do get access to all the other members only readings, whether it's extended or just full videos. Yeah, and if not, that's totally cool. There's plenty of other free readings on this channel, and you can check those out. And I'm just wishing you the best month ahead, and I really hope that you take to heart this sort of self-care, this self-honoring energy that that keeps coming through pretty strongly. Just nurturing yourself, having compassion for yourself, hearing what's coming up in that inner child, what it's wanting from you, how it wants to come out and play, and to remember that sometimes it's not always about inner child work. Sometimes it's about letting the inner child show its like beautiful aspects to it, the joy, the play, the lightheartedness, the I just want to experience this energy. Yeah, okay. Anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling and I am gonna get into the extended now. Hello, pile twos. So we have a lot of cats here today with us at the moment. They really want to go outside. As always. In every video I film, they always want to go outside. So anyways, you chose the Apophyllite. And you got some bonus cats. So you didn't watch the intro, that's totally okay. We're just looking at guidance and suggestions for you to have the most smooth and harmonious month ahead. So we're always asking for your highest good and love and light. What does pile 2 need to know about their month ahead for guidance and suggestions? We have let go of the need to be right. Ooh, so okay, that is actually a let go of control card, which can mean like let go of over responsibilities or taking responsibility for too many things. And whenever you see the buffalo, you might notice it has like a breath that it's breathing out. A breath that it's breathing out. That's some wise words right there. But to me, it always makes me think of smoke. Or maybe it even is supposed to be smoke burning and then the buffalo breathing it in. Either way, it's a sign of clearing and letting go of things that are like overburdening you. So this could look like maybe making yourself a little less responsible for, say, everything your kids are doing if you have kids. How they're like the results they're getting in school or how they're taking care of themselves. So say if you're a parent of like a teenager and you're trying to teach them self-autonomy and yet you're having a hard time not feeling like you have to chase them around every second. This could be a little message to be like, all right, they're learning independence and self-autonomy and the consequences of not being prepared and taking certain responsible actions, like maybe going to bed at an appropriate time, instead of maybe kind of burning all your energy where someone's not going to be able to hear you. It's okay to just let it go and just kind of let them go on the path you're going to go either way. It also could be maybe you're taking a little responsibility at work that isn't really your responsibility. So perhaps you find yourself always the one staying the longest or the latest. And it's like, you know what? Is that actually part of your job? Is that actually, like, if you didn't do that, would that make you any less qualified at your job? And usually, sometimes the answer is no. It's just that we have like a standard for ourselves that we need to do more than what is actually required of us. It's not the bare minimum. It's like we think we have to do everything above and beyond. And that's just like the base level. It's like, where can you just like let go of some of that and just do the work that is required of you and all that is actually asked and needed from you, and just not having to take on other people's tasks or work. So this is like an unburdening card. Where can you unburden yourself? That might be the better wording. And then over here, we have Unleash the Wild Within. This card is all about letting yourself have time to let go a little bit. So, especially when this card came out first about being kind of overburdened, overstressed, taking on more responsibilities than what you can actually like mentally, physically, energetically, like, and I mean energetically as in like all, like more than what you have physical energy for. These two cards kind of make sense. It's like just taking time right now to honor what you need. And this card makes me think of like needing to like get out that emotion. De-stress. I keep getting that de-stress. It might be like literally doing something cathartic, like screaming into a pillow, yelling at the top of a mountain, howling at a moon, perhaps. Like, I just really get like something cathartic to let some of this energy and frustration go. You might also need a spa day or like either like a girl's day or a guy's day. Like, you just need like a very sincere reset with just a focus on you and having your people around. Definitely. This card often talks about needing to get away to get what would I say? Like another perspective, a clearer perspective. And lightning is all about right now. So I feel like it's just like, if you're feeling like it's selfish, if you're feeling like, you know, it's not fair, get that thought out of your head. You're going to feel so much better. You're kind of needing a clearing, a reset. And now is the time to be able to do that. Right now. This card just literally like, take action now, right now. It's going to help you, like I said, see things a lot clearer. And like, I feel like there's such a need to be able to breathe without so much stress on your shoulders. So yeah, I don't know. It's either you're very responsible for a lot of things at work, you're overworking, you're taking on too much responsibility for things at work, or you have kids and they are kind of driving you crazy with strong wills. Something like that. Okay. What else is coming up for guidance for you? We have Guardian Angel, you are not alone, and be fearless and stand strong. So this card talks about setting boundaries, setting firm boundaries with people. Yeah, okay. And I was just pulling another card to confirm this card here. It talks about it's really important to find balance. So this is what's tricky is I feel like whoever you need to set these strong boundaries with, they are someone that you do genuinely have like feelings for. There is love there. It's just like, it could be like a family member. It could be like one of your best friends. Maybe you're in business with them. Or there's something like that where it's like, it's really important that you set boundaries with them and you find the balance you're needing and then you stick with it. And I feel like this is one of those hard situations because there is a really close bond to this person, whether it's physically blood or it is just really, really close friendship, really close coworker, something like that. It's like, but it's really important because this is going to lead to too much burnout if you don't release some of the, like, I want to say like responsibilities or sort of like burdens. There's some kind of word like that. Like, it's just like heaviness that you've taken on in this dynamic. It's not going to be sustainable. in the long run. And I feel like everything I'm saying, you know. I feel like this pile just knows these things and have been feeling this way, and you're just getting this as like a confirmation message. Hey, Charlie. He's just hanging. Okay. Anything else you need to know? Enjoy success and happiness. Yeah. It's okay for you to like not take on these other people's heaviness, emotional stuff. Like how I would see it is like you just don't want these other people to struggle so much, but you're actually spending so much more energy trying to help them get out of the struggle that it's like depleting you. And it's just like, it's okay for you to honor yourself and for you to be happy and lighthearted and good, even if they're not. So that can be really, really hard if it is a child of yours or a really close friend, because you don't want to see your loved one struggle. But I just feel like there's nothing you can do about this situation. They're going to do what they're going to do. It's almost like if someone has extreme anxiety, you can get as anxious as you want with them, but that's not going to get rid of any of their anxiety. If anything, you might both just fuel each other's anxiety more. And it's okay to stay regulated in yourself. You don't need to meet dysregulation with your own dysregulation. You can be regulated. We also have just connect with your emotions. Yeah. This is like connecting with your own emotions, because I feel like you've been so in tune with this other person's emotions that you haven't even been able to check in with yourself. Like you might even forget to be like, how am I feeling right now? I've been so aware of like how they've been feeling. How do I actually feel? And just even getting clear on that. And like before you try to regulate someone else, make sure you're regulating yourself, which is a really, once again, hard thing to do. If this is like a child or someone very close to you and you don't want to see them struggling, but it's very important that you start putting yourself first more, getting grounded in yourself, getting in a place where you're paying more attention to yourself staying regulated, that you can hold your space, hold your ground, and not become dysregulated when this person gets into your space. So it's very interesting because I feel like we're really talking about one person in your life, very specifically. Hopefully you know who this person is, because it's coming through with a lot of very specific guidance. And just like honor and trust your instincts right now, your intuition. Whoever's coming to your mind is probably them. This was not my intention for the reading to talk about a specific person. It's just kind of what's happening. So yeah. Okay. I just want to ask, so what can you do to stay regulated? So we have Heart Guardian, love and let yourself be loved. So this is like coming back to you. Focusing solely on you, what you need to feel loved and good in your body, and what you need to feel safe and grounded in your body. And this all comes to like connecting literally with yourself and being like, what do I need right now? And if that's like, I need to leave this house or leave the situation, or set a boundary with this person or get them out of my house, depending on who it is, or like step out from the working room or whatever it is, whatever your situation is like, what space do you need to make sure you're taking it? And not just like being like, okay, I have to sit through this. Okay. Shield Maiden, make plans and focus. Yeah. So I feel like this is talking about like, okay, you might have had a suspicion for a while now about some boundaries you need to set and uphold, or like some things you need to figure out to be able to set boundaries with this person. And it's like, now is the time to actually do that. I feel like this pile has thought a lot about taking action or suggesting some certain type of boundaries. So maybe there's like physical boundaries you need to uphold. Like, I don't know, like maybe not having the person in your space that keeps coming up. So maybe you let someone come over all the time, and maybe you need to set the boundary that they're not allowed to just show up whenever. They have to tell you when they're going to come over. They're only allowed once a week or whatever that makes sense to you. But it's like setting very strong physical boundaries with this person. Trust your talents in changing times. So I just like this card. It's like, honestly, just trust yourself. Like, it's interesting because as I've been pulling cards, I'm like, I feel like you want very specific examples. Like you want me to say what you should do and what that will look like. And maybe that's not for everyone, but I do feel like there is like that energy of be like, all right, tell me the how. But it's like, you actually know the how. Like you're very adaptable, you're clever. This talks about being very relationship orientated too. So it's like, you know how to honor the relationship, but also honor yourself still. And you know how to be adaptable and know how to intelligently come up with a solution to the problem. So it's like you actually have the answer. You don't need the answer from me. You just need the confirmation that it's really important that you do set these boundaries with this person. And then we also have see from a higher perspective. So once again, there is this message that it's so important that you're able to get space from this person to see things clearly and to have space enough to like see what's going on within yourself. Yeah, to see what's going on within yourself, because I feel like you're so in it with this person that it can be really hard to see past the immediate situations. You might even need some time away from them just to like get clear on like what's happening, what's been going on within you, what is the pattern that keeps happening, how do you keep falling into this pattern if you do keep falling into it, and just having some space for that clarity to happen, because I just feel like this talks about needing some distance or retreat or getaway, like it was first saying. Yeah. Also interesting, just on the bottom of the deck, we have move beyond ancestral patterns. So this is something where you might have had, this might be a pattern. So if this is a kid, this might be a pattern you've been in for their whole life with them, like going into the circle with them. If this is like a coworker or a good friend, it might just be like a pattern that you find yourself in with other people like them. It's just like time to break it. It's time to get out of this running loop and start setting boundaries. So the way through is the boundary upholding and creating. So getting strong on yourself, regulating yourself first, not taking responsibility of this other person's emotions, and not regulating other people on their behalf, letting them figure out how to regulate themselves. That is the main message I'm getting. Okay. All right. I feel like I'm just gonna keep repeating myself a lot, so I'm just gonna pull maybe like an affirmation card. Where are they? Where are my affirmation cards? Did I put them somewhere? Oh, here they are. I just put some of the wrong cards on top of them. Okay, I'm gonna pull an affirmation cards for you. Just to kind of conclude this part of the reading, I am doing an extended on suggestions and advice for your romantic relationships for the month ahead. If you want to see that, you get access by becoming a YouTube member. And when you become a YouTube member, you get access to all the other YouTube members only videos. So that's also an option if you're wanting to hear that. So sorry, Charlie. And obviously bothering you. Okay, what is an affirmation for pile 2 for this month ahead? I want this one. I have plenty of money with plenty to spare. Success is mine through perseverance, endurance, and clear vision. I am grateful for the blessings in my life. And rhodonite crystal. Ooh, I like that one. That one's all about love. And healing, kind of like the wounds of love, we'll say patterns in love. So that's actually a very appropriate card because this is all about relationships and yeah. Not repeating them. Not repeating unhealthy patterns in love. Okay, you know what? We'll grab that card because it just flew out onto the floor. And interesting enough, it's called Chief and Appetite. And it says, affirmation, my thought process are conscious and healthy. I am mindful and present as I create meals. My body metabolizes the food I prepare with ease. I am grateful for all involved in bringing food to my table. So I was going to say, this card is interesting because sometimes in energy work, we talk about like when we get so overloaded with other people's stuff that sometimes what we'll start to do on an energy level or a physical level is if there's no boundaries, the only boundary we have is physical, and we'll suddenly start gaining weight very quickly. And you might not even have this problem, so don't take it if it's not true. but we can start gaining physical weight because our body has no other way to protect itself. It's like you're not setting the boundary, you're not upholding a physical boundary. So the only boundary I can create is more skin, more body between my soul, my energy, and these other people. So that's an interesting thing to come up in energy work, because it's like usually like if someone doesn't have boundaries and they take on too much from others and they kind of get treated poorly by others, that can just be something that happens because your body's just trying to keep you safe. Trying to keep you safe. Okay? All right, one more card and then we're going to move into the extended reading. We have I observe life from a higher perspective. Guidance and information flow through me. I'm discerning, objective, and practical in all areas of my life. That's also something really pay attention to, because you have 3 cards that have talked about a higher perspective, that you're able to discern, that you can see the situation clearly for what it is. You can see your side, you can see their side, and you can just see the neutral side in between. That seems very, very important to this pile. So really maybe take that with you. You got a lot of advice about seeing other perspective from further away. And I think it's going to be about how to, like, why it's so important to have boundaries and why you deserve to have them. That's my perspective of it. But you know what? You know your situation, you know you. And it's up to you to take it how you need to. So it's just a YouTube reading for the collective. So it's all up to you to just take what you need from this and leave the rest. So anyways, this is where I'm going to leave you, unless I'm going to see you in the extended reading. If you do want to access that, I'll leave the link in the description box below for the extended. And if not, I hope you have a good month ahead, and maybe I'll see you in another pick a card reading sometime. Hello, pile 3. So unfortunately, my camera did this thing where its battery died and it erased all your reading while I was almost done it. So that's okay. We're gonna do it again, but I was just gonna leave your cards pulled and not repull them and all that. So anyways, your pile 3, you chose the strawberry quartz. I think I accidentally called it strawberry rhubarb quartz in the intro. And anyways, what we were talking about here for you, see you later, Topes, is that there's actually more confirmations in this reading for you than there is guidance, but that's okay, because sometimes it's what we're needing. So we kind of are seeing messages here about how, like, your month ahead has been the month that you've kind of been, like, for lack of better words, praying for or hoping for. So I have a hunch that this pile either had a very busy work season or very busy time with kids, or just something got really, like, busy, and you've been like, I'm so excited for the fall to come, or for September to come, or whatever season you're in to come, so that things slow down and I have more time to do the things I want to do. Have some time to myself, be not always in the hustle and bustle and, like, busyness. So I really like that. I also feel like there's some time for you to get back to your routines, to prioritize and spend more time with your partner or in your relationships. And just literally take care of your body. Like, this talks about just, like, being able to get the rest you need, get the diet that you feel the best on back in order, getting, like, if that's like meal prepping, if that is like being able to grocery shop even, because maybe you just didn't have time for that. Like, I just feel like it's like really getting your foundation systems back and feeling connected and grounded and supported, just even in the physical body, physical way. Like, if we even just take out the emotions, this is just physicality, getting that back in order. And then over here we have like, this is kind of like the time of your dreams where things are slower. You have time to do that thing you like doing for joy. So if there is like a certain hobby you like to do, or if there's like a regular workout class or hobby class that you like going to, or maybe just like having an hour a day to read a book or play music even, or listen to the music you want to listen to while doing what you need to do. I just feel like this month ahead is going to be that month for you. And you're just, I don't know, I just love it. I love this energy of like, you're just able to do the things you've been wanting to do. There is also a little note here about like, being able to reconnect more and just spend more, like I keep wanting to say, connecting time in your relationships. So that can even be with romantic partner, like just having time to like sit down and like talk to each other and not be interrupted. Or like be with other groups of people and just really being able to spend time, like say, sitting on the couch and cuddling. So I just love that. Just being able to like reestablish connections and really bring back intimacy into your relationships. So even if that is like in friendships or whatever that is, intimacy, you know, it's just like that deep connection where you really just get to see each other. So I just feel like that's coming in as well. And there is a little bit of a message over here about just having setting aside time to check in with yourself about what you're wanting for the time ahead. So I just getting like maybe even checking in about like holiday plans, what you want to do for the holidays, maybe checking in on your budget, what would take to be able to do the things you're wanting to do, and just working towards it. So with listening and manifestation, it's like getting yourself organized now so that you can actually see those dreams come in or see those dreams true or something. I don't know. I feel like there's an expression there that I'm not quite getting right. But it is important just to really sit down and make that time. And also, like I keep getting, it's really important for you to check in with yourself about what you are wanting. What are you wanting to do? Also, I do feel like there is a little bit of like a conversation necessary if you are in a romantic partnership that is a little more serious, or maybe even married to someone, to just even see like what their plans are and like what they're wanting to do for the holiday season. I keep getting that very specifically. So I just, I feel like there's just some practicality there. And then I just keep feeling like budgeting and getting timetables matched up is really important to just, as I see, like get everything, was it like just be able to have everything work out so that you don't have to compromise or like miss out on something that you might not be able to do because of like a budgeting thing, or like haven't had the conversations about aligning your time frames. So yeah, it just seems really, really important to actually sit down and have that check in with yourself and check in with that partner if there is one of those for you. This reading's actually coming through pretty clearly. I was just going to say there is going to be an extended for this pile for suggestions and guidance for your love life specifically after this. And I feel like this pile is actually really leaning towards romantic connection. So you might be interested in that. It's available for YouTube members. So anyways, let's just pull a few more cards about any other suggestions and guidance for this pile for the month ahead. New beginnings and focus. Yeah, I like this. So I do just feel like this is something you haven't been able to do. Like you haven't been able to really focus and have extra time to get organized and figure some things out, or even get some work done maybe. I don't know if this work, but there's just like tasks you want to get done and I feel like you haven't had time to do them. And I love that it's saying like you're gonna actually have time this month ahead to get these things started, to get some balls rolling and to get these things you've been wanting to have time for accomplished. So that feels really rewarding for this pile. And I do feel like you just had so much distractions the last couple of months. Like it's just been really hard to get things figured out. So this is once again, like the energy themes for the collective were like get like organized, like make schedules, make day planners. And I really am getting this message strong for the best success. Get plans, get your calendars lined up, make spaces for the things you need to do. Okay, I'm a little confused by the merging. Okay. Divine guidance. Okay, well, let's pull one more. I feel like this just came out in you know what? Never mind. So I'm not sure if this pile heard it. I can't remember if I said it in the intro or just in the individual piles, but I actually recorded this whole card reading. I guess your pile I've recorded 3 times. I did the whole reading the very first time. And unfortunately, the audio just didn't work on any of the piles. So that was a bummer. So I came back and just like pulled all new cards and re-recorded it. And then, yeah, then your pile, unfortunately, just deleted itself. So round 3. But I was like, wait, these cards all came out. And I was like, oh, I think they just came out the very first time. So I was thinking it was in a recent card reading I did, but I think it was just this one first time around. But anyways, it's all about taking time to get a clear perspective on like where you want to go, your ultimate goals and dreams, and then trusting that you are able to get there and setting yourself up for success to be able to get there. Does that make sense? So it's like organizing time so that you have enough time to like be in more play, because a lot of cards are saying it's craving just being able to enjoy things to be enjoy, but it's also talking about stepping into the fact that you are ready to like take action towards these new things. I'm not sure what this is. Sometimes it makes me think of business or work related things because we can get nervous about our value or we can get imposter syndrome. And there is something here about like letting yourself see how good you are at something. So I'm thinking it could be work related, but you'll just have to take that intuitively, however it like applies to you. It could even be maybe seeing your value in your romantic connection, as that's coming out pretty strongly that you're working on your romantic connection. So once again, please just take it as you need to. And I think I'd said the first time this card came out, I kept thinking, well, this is as peach. How it's not orange, it's peach. And then I was laughing because I was like, well, peach emojis are butts. So I was like, maybe you have nice peaches. But anyways, maybe that's why the whole reading didn't work the first go around. I shouldn't have said a joke about peaches. I'm not sure. So maybe we'll walk past that one. we'll skip this bad joke. I also had said, I think, I can't remember which reading now. the one that I just did. And it's getting kind of late here, so I feel like my words are getting kind of weird, and it's just because it's getting quite late. So pardon me for my weird language and tiredness, but yeah. Okay, so I just actually want to pull some affirmation cards. That's what's next. That's right. Some affirmation cards for you that might help you get through this month. Okay, affirmation for pile 3. I have a strong relationship with the spoken word. I have a vision for the bigger picture from an objective standpoint. I have ideas that are worth spreading. I like that. That kind of feels like that emerging and stepping into your power thing. Okay, we also have, I listen well and understand what is being communicated. It is easy to discern the truth and set boundaries when necessary. I am wise and compassionate even during stressful situations. So this is interesting because I was just talking about my struggle to communicate all of a sudden and being very tired. And you have 2 cards that are talking about I communicate clearly, I hear people clearly. You might feel like you're a bad communicator. I don't know if you actually are, but I feel like you fear that you are. So that might just be something to look into, see if it resonates or checks out with you. Okay, anything else for pile 3 for affirmations? My thought processes are conscious and healthy, sorry. I am mindful and present as I create meals. My body metabolizes the food I prepare with ease. I am grateful for all involved in bringing food to my table. Yeah, so there is also like a little bit of just basic physical health. Like if you've fallen off the routine that you had set up for yourself about eating certain foods that made you feel really good, it's never too late to get back on that wagon. Like when there's chaotic times, sometimes, you know, our best routines fall away, but we can always get back to them. So don't beat yourself up for that. Like this card says, it's new beginnings, new cycles, time to get back on the wagon or the horse. And yeah, today's a new tomorrow. Tomorrow's a new day, something like that. Okay, this is all I have for you, pile 3s. Hopefully this brought some sort of insights for you, some clarity, and hopefully I said everything, as I'm having a hard time remembering what I said, which time, and what reading, and which ones weren't deleted. So anyways, I will maybe see you in the extended. If you're interested in that, it'll be in the description box below. And if not, no worries. I'll catch you in another card reading. Have a good one.